Hi everyone, it's Tonya, and I want to share with you this mini album that I made today. And I have a lovely assistant here with me, and her name is Angel, and she's a boxer. So if the heavy breathing is not me this time, it's her. But in this mini album, I used the Webster Pages Wonderful Collection, and it just reminded me, some of the pages in it say count your blessings and grow and dream. So I thought about using that paper line for a Gratefulness album. So let's get started with the tour. There's also a self-challenge in this, a couple of them. One is my ongoing self-challenge of, for everything new that I use, I have to use something old. And normally I reserve mini albums for things that are old, to get rid of them, to kind of clear out some of the scraps and stuff like that. So the other self-challenge is to use things for something other than their intended purpose. So as we go through here, I'll kind of point those things out. But on the cover, I have some binding lace that I just made like a little ruffle and put it on the cover. So that is something that is not being used for its intended purpose. And then here, this frame is, I hope you can see the texture of it. This is what I did. I have a bunch of these little frames in my stash, and I can't part with them. I don't know why, because I've not used them too often. But they're old, they're dated. In fact, on the back, don't laugh, the copyright date is 2004. Seriously, look at that, 2004. So what I decided to do was take some bead gel medium and mix it with some pearlescent rust colored paint, and then I liberally applied it to the edge of the frame, let it dry completely, ran over it with a StazOn to give it some extra dimension, just to bring out the texture and everything. I love it. Love it. So anyway, then I found in my stash, and again, these are 2004. Look at this. Elements by Daisy D. This is a different sentiment, but they're little vellum titles. So what I did was I applied some glimmer mist to it, stuck it in the inside of the frame, but then the frame was kind of flimsy from the bead gel, so I backed it with chipboard. And look at how cute this turned out. So by taking something that was dated, adding some new techniques to them, I was able to kind of refresh some old product. And then of course I added some stick pins, and thank you to Dawn for some of the stick pins that I used in here and the charms and stuff. She sent them to me in a rake. And then this is a remnant of, it's a Prima Rose that I had left over from another layout that I made. So that was something that was kind of just lingering. The paper that is on the cover is from Die Cuts with the View, and it is from the Rustic collection. Love that collection. It's so beautiful. Anyway, so to begin our tour, the paper line itself is more themed around school type things. So the paper being used for a Gratefulness album kind of follows with the challenge of use it for something that other than what it's intended for. And so this says a lot in here, like play and joy, because a lot of it revolves around kids in this paper collection. So I'm gonna find something to do with it. But anyway, these flowers are Prima, and I found this from Flamingo Scraps, and I'm on their guest design team, and we're gonna do a tour of this mini album on their blog. And then the charm is from Dawn, and again, something not used for its intended purpose. The hook here, the swivel hook that you see, is a fishing lure hook, swivel hook. So, and by the way, guys, go get these because they're super cheap. They're like 99 cents for 20 of them or something. I don't know, it's cheap. And then this is just a little remnant piece of ribbon that I had left over, and the stamping on here is a new stamp that I just got, and it talks about friendship, but I'm not going to read it. There's just not enough time to read all of this. But anyway, on this side, I left it kind of plain because, again, I want room for journaling and adding pictures and things. But if you look, I added one of the Prima studs in the center, the flower centers, to the center of the daisy. So I just thought it kind of added a little something to that page. Then on this page, and those were from Flamingo scraps too. And then on this page, I have these beautiful flowers. Now, when I bought them because of the color, and they kind of have sat there. I've had them for close to 6 months now. I got them from Flamingo, but look at how they're made from burlap sack. So I was like hesitant because I didn't really know what they would go with. They are perfect for this paper line. Perfect, guys. And Flamingo still has some. And then this yellow piece that's back here was a piece of fabric that had some embroidery on the side of it, and I cut the edge off of the ribbon and made like a little ruffle. So off of the material. So this is being used for something other than its intended purpose. And I also got this beautiful fabric. It's a yellow color from Flamingo, and it was in the steampunk grab bag. And then this is from the paper. All of the paper that's in here is from the paper collection. And then another remnant left over from a previous project. The bird cage was cut from my Cricut cartridge. Inside of each one of these envelopes, I'm not going to pull all of these out, but I have these little cards for a 4x6 photo, and I'm leaving them plain because I want them to sit flat. And they have a dark side to them and a light side, so I can journal on one side, add a photo on the other, or add 2 photos, either one. Just forget it. So those are inside, and then I cut all of them with my Martha Stewart border. Then on this side, the letters that you see here that say Inspire are actually, I had these stickers that I haven't used all of them. They're from Sticko, and they're old. So I thought they went perfect with this collection. So I've used them up, getting rid of scraps. And then the ribbon down here is Webster's Pages, and I got it from Flamingo. This is a piece of vellum from the collection, and I made this into a pocket down here. I didn't want to cover up the little birdie. She's feeding her babies. So I just did a little vellum insert. And I can either add a picture to it or I can journal on it. Probably journal on it because I want to still be able to see the tree and the bird. And then on this side, I just did some fussy cutting around this frame part. So, and then I left it open here at the top so I could slide a photograph in there. And then more of the little flowers that, like I said, I'd had them for quite a while and just didn't know what to do with them. And then these are little crystal vines that I used on some of my canvases that are right here. I don't know if you can see them or not. And then out of the scraps of the paper, I cut out a bunch of butterflies and just put them in here. And again, a Martha Stewart punch for those. Then over here, things that are being used for something other than their intended purpose. Again, I have hydrangea flowers from Prima, and they're not being used as flowers. Instead, they're being used as a ruffle. And then down here is another little charm from Tuberdon. Thank you, Tuberdon. And then again, another fish hook. And then the stamp set that was used on this, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It is from the Parisian Anthology stamp set. Love it. Anyway, another remnant of the lace that I had left over from another project. And then these flowers down here. These are Prima flowers. Believe it or not, they are from the Got Flower collection. You know, the ones that came in the milk cart or the milk jars. Anyway, I took 3 of them and made a little rose out of them. Aren't they pretty? And then the bird cage was cut from my Cricut cartridge. And then another stud, something it wasn't intended for, and I think it works perfect for a little bling on the bird cage. And then on this side, I have more of those little flowers I made from the Got Flower collection. I have tons of those, you guys. I mean, buckets full of them. In fact, I filled one of those 99-cent plastic shoe boxes up with just those the other day. I got rid of all the jars. I have the jars, but I put them all in one container. Again, something that's not being used for its intended purpose. I have a doily that I made a little flower out of, and I thought this daisy matched the daisy that was here. So I kind of made it look like this one. And then, of course, feathers back here, which are not being used for what, you know, they were intended for. And then I have another little journal spot here, or a frame, either way. And then on this side, this is a little piece of the vellum that I mounted to a cardstock. and it opens up so that I can add either photographs or more journaling. And then down here, again, not its intended purpose, that's more of the studs, and then some lace that I got from Flamingo. And then down here, these were flowers that were cut from a Cricut cartridge, and I cut them in half and made the banner out of those. So it really is only, it's 2 flowers. Can you see that? It's 2 flowers cut in half. So I like it. And then on this page, I like the little wagon full of stuff. My nephew, this is so my nephew. So I left a pocket here, and I can either slide a photograph in there or something, but then I have just 2 little journal spots here. And what I may do is put a picture of him here playing with his toys, because he has one of those little red wagons he totes around with him back and forth to the ball field. He lives across the street from the ball field, so he's absolutely in heaven. But anyway, more Prima flowers, and then the doily is being used like a little fan embellishment there. I hope you can see that. Anyway, and then the little butterflies. But anyway, there's my tour of my little album. Thank you guys so much for all your support and everything, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave me comments. I love you guys' comments. Y'all all just make me feel so good. So thank you, and have a good week.